Beautiful. Yeah, there we are. We're on. We're on.
So how's life been since Perth? Obviously, it was a mental weekend, and I know it felt just everything about it felt massive. But for you, what's life been like since then, and what you've been up to?
Yeah, man. I'm funny like that. To me, it's just back home, back to reality, and me being dad and whatnot. But I mean, it was massive. It was a massive weekend. Obviously, I felt how big it was during and after. Again, obviously, I didn't get the hand raised, even though we thought we did. But I mean, like, it was funny. Again, a lot of people didn't expect. They expect the fight to be totally different. So, a lot of people were always praising me and things like that, which is okay. But they're congratulating me, and I'm like, oh no, I don't know if congratulating is the right
Yeah.
is the right thing to do when you didn't get your hand raised. But a lot of people thought we did enough, so maybe that's where they're going with, and maybe they were expecting me to not do so good as well. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it was that type of fight. A lot of people, they knew it was a test and all that, and so they were pumped about it. But yeah, I definitely felt it, and I feel the love from it as well, even still. So even though I didn't get my hand raised, everyone's still treating me like I did,
Yeah.
win, and um, yeah, if anything, probably respected me more than they did before then, if anything.
It's a weird one, right? Because like you say, you didn't get the result you wanted, but everyone was congratulating you, and they were acting like you won and stuff. And I know that you're like such a professional. This is probably not the sort of I know sort of the answer to this question already, but to go from that and then they're like, okay, back to featherweight when you want the rematch. Is it kind of hard to be like, oh, like can I go to that later? Can I just do the lightweight thing first, or what's the emotion?
Oh man, it was, to be honest, it wasn't really like that. Like, to be honest, it was we even had a more of an option. They even asked, like, what do we want to do? But I mean, I wanted to fight as soon as possible, so
Right.
that was what it was. Um, and I wasn't lying when I said I wanted to stay busy. You know what I mean? So it was. Oh, that was the honest truth, and that was the case. They even asked, they're like, "Look, if you want the rematch, we don't know. That's not going to be till the end of the year." I go, "I ain't waiting until the end of the year. I can get a fight at featherweight, and then see what happens later." You know what I mean? Like that's just how I am, and I can still get that. I still plan on doing what I need to do. So obviously, it's not sitting in concrete yet. I'm sure it's probably a question you get asked, like with the next one. With Yair, it's not written or anything, but I mean it's looking like July 8th in Vegas. So again, we just need to get everything across the line. I think that's all parties are happy with it, so we should make that happen.
Yeah, he's an interesting one, right? I feel like he's one of these guys that, for the first part of his career, he had like good highs, then some lows, and then recently it seems to just be kind of clicking for him. Like his performances, the last
Yep.
couple of fights have been really like pretty impressive. Do you feel the same way? And when you look at him as an opponent, where we need to be careful, where are you going to have some strengths? How are you looking at him?
Yeah, man, I'm looking at him as a real challenger. Like he's a dangerous fighter. He could be one of the dangerous fighters I've fought. Really,
Mhm.
when you talk about unpredictability and and then like still power, knockout power, and so many different tools. So you need to take him really serious. I
Mhm.
think I'm the best fighter in the world. So am I confident? Yeah, but do I know that? You know, I know not to take this guy lightly.
Yeah.
And he's been dominating and looking good. In his last few fights, you know what I mean. Whether obviously his last one he looked great.
Yeah.
The one before that he was looking great, and then you had that what happened. But I mean, he was looking really good before that happened with Brian Ortega. But again, very unpredictable. So it's exciting for me. You know what I mean? New challenges. And
Yeah.
you mentioned it earlier in his career. Everyone had a lot of hype on him. He was no, he was definitely not a one-trick pony. That's the wrong word. He was. I don't know. I guess he fought more at one range. He was very good with his flashy stuff, but that's all that he sort of
Mhm.
cared about. He's real comfortable at that range. Where now he looks like he's a lot more comfortable at all ranges.
Yeah.
He looks very unpredictable when you're pressuring him at a long range. No matter where it is, he can fire all different things from all different angles. So that's always a big threat. So
Yeah.
it's good. That's when the master game planning and fight IQ and all that type of stuff needs to come in. And looking forward to it because again, that excites me.
I mean, it's funny that you've been chilling since February almost, and there's still like loads of stuff happening. Obviously, last night we had Max. It's a weird one, man. I feel for Max because it's a bit like the Rob Whittaker
Yeah.
situation. Like you can beat everyone, but you can beat the champion, and it just puts you in an awkward spot. Did you catch the fight? Were you kind of a bit like, oh, I could have used Arnold winning, really? Well, what did you think of it?
Yeah, well, like yeah, I watched it. Yeah, you're right. Like, obviously, the more contenders you have, the better. You know what I mean? You get all these. He was on the 10-fight win streak, Arnold Allen. So if he was to take out Max, you could imagine everyone screaming his name again. I would obviously, if this fight does happen with Yair, I need to get over that first. But I mean, you got some things lined up. That's what I wanted, right? I want to be busy, and we, prove that. So having that would have been great. But Max is again. I don't know. I think people, because they seen our match, expect you hear people be like, oh, he
Yeah,
wasn't himself, or he's fallen off, and you just sit there like, I know it's not that. I know it was a man in front of him, and he just showed that like
yeah,
yesterday, like a game opponent like Arnold Allen, and Max looked great. I got nothing but praises for Max. He showed experience, showed durability as always, but I mean, definitely added a few more things to his game as well. I thought Max did. But yeah, looked great, and then just showed that he's a true veteran with skill, fight IQ, and with everything. You know what I mean? So you got all that skill and all that, and then you got that experience and that veteran. Um, he's been around for a long time, and
yeah,
that's why I remember saying it to him after the last fight. Um, when the doctors, like, I'm one talking to one dog, he's the other doctor because he obviously broke my hand, so we're getting that looked at. And I just said to him, I go, get out of my division and stop beating up my contenders. I go, stop beating up my contenders. You know what I mean? I'm saying stuff like that too, because again, I know, like,
yeah,
people, again, a lot of people are gonna sit there and before last night, oh, he's fallen off and all this type of stuff. I'm like, nah, it's not that. Trust me.
yeah.
You wait till he fights again, he's going to forget about that the next time. And he proved it last night. He looked
Yeah.
great.
It's crazy, right? It's so funny. You see that in this sport a few times, like Whitaker and Israel, and then you got like DC and
Mhm.
John. It's like these guys who would be the best if it wasn't for the other guy being
Yeah.
there. Um, Obviously Max.
You feel bad. You feel bad too, right? You're like,
Yeah, it's just like
like in that situation, it's like,
yeah,
why does that guy got to be here and be in my damn division? You
yeah,
know what I mean? Like, you could just imagine how they feel, which is, um, yeah, understandable. Obviously, Max a cool dude as well, great fighter, but
yeah.
it just whether you're going to go there, like, do I see?
Yeah.
Yeah, how can it happen, right? Like, I
Well,
just,
I remember.
it's hard enough to do. It's hard enough to do a trilogy when you're two. A lot of
Yeah,
people were like, "What are you doing? Why?"
yeah,
But I mean, at least there's still a bit of history and things like that. Where now the third one, obviously it doesn't make sense. So it's a tricky situation for Max, that's for sure.
yeah.
But I guess what he said, he goes, "You never know, right,
Yeah,
bro?"
yeah. It's just I remember. I think you said it after the second one. You were like, "What? Do we just rematch until he wins?" It's kind of a weird. It's just a weird situation to be in. But obviously, the Yair fight's there, and you're not taking him lightly. But the Islam fight is the one that's sort of lurking in the background, right? That's the one that I
Mhm.
know you made no secret you want. He's stolen your hairstyle now, so it's clearly personal. I don't know if you saw that.
Actually, I did. I'd seen it, and then I thought it was just Photoshop. And
Yeah,
then I actually think I seen something else where I was like, "Oh wait, like he did do it."
yeah,
So yeah, like yeah, which is, I don't know. I'm telling you, bold's the new. That's the new look, mate. That's the new.
yeah.
As in here in Australia, you'll say it's a new mullet because mullets
Okay.
were a bit
I
big
don't
over
know,
here.
mate.
I don't know. I don't know.
In Perth, there was a few mullets still around, mate. I was
You
amazed. I
know
was like,
what I
they're
mean?
still here. Yeah,
Bald's a new mullet. I don't know what's a big hairstyle in America
I'm
or
sure.
like,
It's just fucking
well,
weird.
what about where? What about you guys? You got mullets where you are as
No,
well?
we don't do mullets. We always do like really short on the sides and a big long swept over thing on the top. And you know,
Yeah,
everyone's
well,
looks the
the
same
bald's a
anyway.
new swept over thing anyway.
Okay, I'll bear that in mind because we're getting there eventually, mate. I'm telling you. But obviously, Islam's the fight that I think is massive, right?
Hmm.
It looks like Oliveira and Benil are going to fight in June now, and then presumably, if Benil won anyway, I would be sure they would do that in Abu Dhabi October. For your timeline and everything, where does that match up with you, and what are your goals in regards to Islam?
Yeah. It's a tricky one because you do have the Russia, but I mean that rematch needs to happen. You know, we need to make that happen. So it's I guess it's a tricky one. We're just going to see how things go. Um, Me, I want to be active, so that's just the main thing for me. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm not the one to just wait around. Like I know I could eventually get it, but what am I going to do? Wait till
Yeah.
that's just not me. So yeah, I'll get my fights and do what I got to do. Um, and yeah, but I mean that rematch definitely needs to happen. So we'll make that happen. But I'll just do my thing July, and yeah, and see what happens from there.
Would you, you had the home crowd last time. Would you fight him in Abu Dhabi in October if they offered?
Yeah, I'd fight anyone anywhere. You know what I mean? Like I was going to be the backup over there. You know, with short notice, broken hands. Coming off a broken hand, like I'm not. I'm obviously not scared of a challenge, and I'm not one to just pick and choose. And ain't no diva. You know what I mean? For me, yeah, it was a honor, and I was thrilled to be fighting in Australia. I would love to do it again, but I mean, when the time suits, I can't expect everyone to just fight on my home turf every single time. So, even though I've been fighting on everyone else's turf
I was going to say,
the
you
whole
lot do
time, but
travel.
like everyone's like, oh yeah, like it's funny when you're hearing these people like, oh, I had to go over there, travel, and booing, and I'm like, oh, you don't realize that we do that every single time, and I get booed every single time. Like that's just man.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. But again, like I think the boost might not be so
Temporary.
much for me nowadays, but
Yeah. I mean, to
unless
be
it's Max
fair,
Holloway, everyone loves Max Holloway, so you never know. It must still might boo me because they might hope that Max Holloway fights can still happen, so they might
yeah.
hate me till they know it's not happening. But
I
yeah,
think I
we
think since those fights, like both of you, I think you've done enough now to show you're a good guy, Volk. I think people are
yeah,
sort of
yeah. No,
ready
I'm
to.
just playing. I'm
Yeah.
just playing. Obviously the love's been incredible. You know what I mean. So, I've been feeling a bit. I really do appreciate it. So it's been unreal. I'm just having a laugh.
Yeah. We'll wrap up quickly, but I wanted to get your thoughts on Israel beating Alex
Yeah.
in Miami. What a performance. And, you and him are very close and he looks to you for motivation, but like your thoughts on that. And I saw your reaction to the knockout. It wasn't too dissimilar from my own, but like it just in terms of like, oh my God, I can't believe this has happened. But yeah, what was it like watching
Yeah.
it?
Oh man, it was incredible. Like when you got like so even if wasn't even if we weren't close with I wasn't close with Izzy and all that, that'd still be massive, right? The storyline and the belts on the line and all that history, like all that. It's it's crazy, like and then to be close with Izzy and be one of your boys, and then the way it all played out was just incredible. Obviously, at the end of the edge of my seat, you could see I was like, well, even though I was still confident, but it's still that type of
Yeah.
fight that Izzy fought was going to be always going to be like, all right, we're gonna do it. Like you're gonna come at me.
Mhm.
You'll leave yourself open, and we'll make you pay. Which I knew that he. That's why I was calling for early knockout because I knew something like that could happen. But you're
Yeah.
still playing. You're fighting fire with fire, so you're still at the end of the seat, especially with someone like Pereira. So I was just like, man, like it was, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely crazy and
My favorite
having
thing
that,
about
and
your
then
your
all of a
reaction,
sudden,
your reaction, you just started screaming "sleep, sleep." I thought it was like the
yeah, yeah,
fucking funniest thing
yeah,
ever.
yeah. Man, had a couple of drinks too, so I was like, I was very fired up,
Yeah,
and like, yeah, like, not, you don't want anyone to, wish someone any pain or it, but I mean, at that time, I'm just like that history is like,
yeah, it was awesome.
Slap,
So
I just got fired up. Like I said, it was incredible, man. Like easy. I obviously went over there a week before the fight week, and seen the boys. And I just wanted because I knew I couldn't make it over there, so I just wanted to at least be there for the last week of training.
yeah,
And yeah, just be there, do a bit of training. But I mean, go there knowing that I'll be in camp soon and feed off some of that energy. But it was cool to see. Like you could just tell you could tell something was different, right? Like you could just tell, like there was a real, not that he doesn't take it serious all the time, but there was a real seriousness. Like he knew what was on the line.
yeah,
You could see him even. I think I even seen him like on his story and like on Instagram, and he was just, like give me energy, like you know what I mean. Like you could see that he was doing that. Even like when I was there, you could feel that's what he was. He was like, yeah, so I'm soaking it all in. Give me everything. because this is it. I'm going to go there. I'm going to take it out. We're going to do it, and it's going to be a big moment. And what a big moment it was. So it's incredible. Yeah, it was incredible to see.
That was awesome. So moving forward, July Yair, and then maybe October Islam if the results go your way. That's the plan.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, I plan on winning. And yeah, I know a lot of people want to see that rematch, and it was a great fight. So let's do it again.